What's going on, people? So, got some comic books to open up real quick. Well, some of them are already open because I bought them from a store, but the other ones are in boxes. Maybe you saw the thumbnail, right? Unless it's already been updated by the time you're watching this, which could very much be likely because I don't really schedule these lives and like stick to any sort of like advanced time or whatever. It's just kind of like I set it up and then basically as soon as I'm done setting it up, I just start it, right? So, anyways, first off, right? This one right here, this is Wolverine Revenge. It's one of the red band ones, so it's like a rated R type comics. Usually it just means like more violent, something like that. So this is going to be number 4, which came out in the end of January, but like they had it in the new comics area, which made me think like maybe I don't have this. Maybe it didn't actually release on time or something. So I bought it, and I figure I'll just have to go back and look through my boxes and stuff and see if I did actually buy this originally, or it could just be a different cover, right? Because sometimes they just bring things out with a different cover again. So I don't know, but I'm waiting on this series to be over, which should be soon. I think it was only like five, it's supposed to be like 5 issues maybe. So once that's over, then I'll sit down and read them because then I'll have the whole story and I won't have to wait. Up next, I guess we can do these both at the same time since they're both the same. So Weapon X-Men, right? It's part of this One World Under Doom thing. Not exactly sure what that is, but this cover I originally saw on Unknown Comics. They were talking about it coming up and all that stuff as like one of the newer storylines. And I thought to myself, I want this because I like a lot of these people, right? So I figured whenever this comes around, I'll do that, which ended up being last week. But last week on Wednesday, a lot of snow stuff came through a lot of the region, right? A lot of the neighboring states and whatnot. So making it to the comic book shop was not on my list of things to do. Not going anywhere was on my list of things to do. So I went up there this week, and I'm like, oh, hey, I thought this was just like an ad, like a little flyer or something that he had in his hand, the comic book shop dude. I'm like, oh, when does that come out? It's like, oh, last week, but I sold out. But I did order some new ones. Which one do you want? And he had them both in his hand, so, you know, worked out pretty well. And this is just like the other cover. This one is the variant, right? So that's what the alternate look is looking like. The other one was an Alex Ross cover, I believe, right? Yeah. If you're familiar with Alex Ross's work, I've done a few Alex Ross unboxings around here, right? Because he does have a monthly subscription type box thing. Been picking those up for the last 3 months, I think, maybe 4. Okay, not a whole lot to see there, depending on how I hold this, but this is basically like a re-release foil cover of this Daredevil comic, right? I am a Daredevil fan. I don't really talk about the guy a whole lot, I guess, but I do think he's one of the cooler superheroes. Saw this, thought, hey, let's go ahead and get that, right? It's kind of cool. And that's pretty much the end of that story, Not a lot to it. Not a lot goes on in my head when I'm buying these things. And then the rest of this is just like these little booklets they give out where they just talk about like the upcoming stuff for the next couple months or whatever, just to give you an idea of like what storylines are going on, which is actually like pretty cool because I've looked through some of those before, but every time I've looked through them, it's been like several weeks or months or whatever after the fact. So I see these things, I'm like, oh man, like that's that thing that I like randomly found out about it and almost missed out. Had I just read this thing, I would have known about it way ahead of time, right? And would have been ready for it. But hey, it is what it is. So let's go ahead, open this thing up. This is, what is that? Oh, Jason, John Scott Campbell, James Scott Campbell, something Scott Campbell. I don't really remember exactly. It's probably on one of these things here. Well, that just also just says J. Scott Campbell. So maybe I never really knew what the J stood for, and I just accepted it as J. Okay. Got a lot of tape going on in here, which is actually like sturdy tape, like packing tape that they use in here. Like if you're packing a box, I mean, I get this is also packing, but I'm just saying a little bit different. And on the back too. All right, but all that's on like the outer wrapping. Let's see, go ahead and get into this real quick. See what's going on. Let's see. Some of this tape just comes right off. Some of it does not. That's what I'm starting to find out. All right. So there's this, right? So this actually looks very close to what they displayed. So this is one of those magic covers that I buy every now and then. It's magic #1. It was just his own cover, right? So there's the thing, J. Scott Campbell. So we put this one up. It was I forget what the count was. It's a limited ratio sort of thing, and one of those incentive ones. It's like, I don't know, for every so many comics, like if you order them as a shop or whatever, you can get like one of these. It's kind of like when you buy like trading cards or whatever. Like they'll have little ratios on there. For every 6 packs, you will probably get a hologram, maybe something like that. Either way, so I also bought. Where is it? That's already in the room. I also bought the comic box of this. Well, with this same sort of style on there. So, I am a Magic fan. She does get a fair amount of my money, especially since she's got that series going right now. I don't know. I probably have all the issues that have come out right so far, but I'm honestly not sure how many there are because I've only really remembered like issue #1. Man, that was not so easy. All right, set that back over here. And got one more, and this one is also going to be a Magic cover, but this one, which one is this? Okay, this is another incentive one, I guess. Limited things and whatnot. Because, it's cool to get stuff that, you like, but it also makes it a little bit cooler when it's limited, and so it's not just something you can just walk in any store and buy. So, it's just kind of nice in a way. And this is not signed, okay? Jeez, all the tape everywhere. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this here real quick, or at least try to do it real quick. And got the overlays there, the whole thing. All right, so that's that. Let's see what this one is. I honestly don't remember much about this one. So what is this? Like, now I honestly don't remember what this one was. I think it was just one of those standard ones that was a very, like limited release. And I think I just wanted it and just bought this one individually because it was there. It just kind of looked cool or whatever. That's probably what it was. I remember this being a little pricier than I wanted it to be. Not crazy. I think like this one here, I think this one was like 80 or something like that, right? This one was probably only like 20 to 30, I guess. Something like that sounds about right. But I'll hold that in there in case you want to get a better look at it, right? See what's really going on there. But yeah, that's Magic. So at this point, I don't even know how many issues of #1 I have, but it's a fair amount. And this one, it's going to be 1 of 25. So, all right. Well, where's that? Yeah, I guess they were both 1 of 25 as far as incentive numbers go. So there you go. There's that. In case anybody was curious. One more box, then I'm going to sit here and talk about the monkey because I saw that. When did I see that? Tuesday, I think. I think I saw that Tuesday night. Yeah, because I couldn't do it Monday because Monday is my running day or something. And then today I saw Cleaner, right, which I thought was going to be better than it was. But more on that in a little bit. All right. So now these come from Unknown Comics. I was just talking about them a minute ago. It should be a 4-pack, I think is what it was, right? One of those connecting cover sort of deals. And let's see. Yeah, that's what that says. So let's go ahead and get the tape off of here if we can. I'll just have to cut through because they taped them together actually, which not always my favorite thing, but it's what they do, and I get it. I just, like I said before on many occasions, I like that they take care of your stuff. I just don't like having to deal with it on the opposite end. Let's see. Shrek 5 looks horrible. They got new animation style, and why is Zendaya in every movie? I have nothing to say to that, honestly, because I did not even know that any of that was a thing. Yeah, I'm trying to get these things in order here. Let's see, because it's, this old Jim Lee, I think it was a Jim Lee cover, right? But, because you have Magneto at the end, So that means that I think, so then you have, and I'll put up like a picture later, right? Showing you all this stuff. So you got these two, right? And then set that one down here, which means that Psylocke would be next to them, right? And this is just like a foil cover thing, right? And then that means that Beast would be before them with Storm. So this big foil connecting cover, I want to say this was in the, I feel like this was like in the $100, $200 range or something like that. I honestly don't remember, but I thought it looked really cool and I wanted it. And now I'm looking at it, have it in hand and stuff. Very nice. I might actually have to go back and possibly get the poster version because there is a poster on Sideshow that I had my eyes on. That'll set me back a good like 80, well, probably 90 because of the way their shipping is. But I really like the way this looks. So this is probably going to happen as far as getting that poster. But yeah, very cool. And I don't even really honestly care to read these particular ones. I really just wanted to get them because, I don't know, you just see cool stuff and you buy it because, impulse buys, right? You don't always need a reason. So I'm going to sit those here where they will soon fall over. I'm almost sure of it, but I'm just going to hope that they don't. And on the subject of comic book things, I do have 2 boxes of these X-Men 97 Topps cards, so I'll be dealing with that at some point soon. Oh yeah, I forgot. I also got these over here. Let's see. It's on the Universal Pictures YouTube channel. Well, I mean, I don't watch like stuff about movies, right? Because when I do see stuff about movies, they often show you too much about the movie. So I'd rather show up to it if it's something that looks kind of interesting, show up to it knowing nothing about it other than like some loose ideas of the plot. So that way I can just like watch it and be surprised by whatever unfolds, right? Sometimes that works out for the best. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, I've gone and I've seen things and thought to myself, wow, had I known a little bit more about this, I would have stayed home today. But then there's other times when you go and you see stuff and you're like, this was really good. And I'm sure the spoilers would have just been all throughout the trailer. So, but yeah, I'm sure the Shrek thing, it likely would be everywhere because it was a popular series, right? I don't know how it held up over the different numbers, sometimes once you get past like after number 2 or something, sometimes like the quality kind of dips in the eyes of a lot of the fan base. But I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming that you watched and remember a fair amount of the Shrek series, perhaps. Like, did it stand strong all the way throughout, or did it kind of like, was it like a sine wave thing? Was it just like a steady drop? How did the Shrek series work out? I've seen part of the first one or the second one. I guess I wouldn't really know since I only saw part of one of them, and all I remember is Shrek and the donkey. There was a woman, like a female Shrek. I feel like that would have been like a second one sort of thing, like, or was she in the first one? I don't know. Either way, so the monkey, right? Yeah, it's kept the story the whole way through. Has it been good? Oh, okay. Well, that's good then. But yeah, so I saw the monkey the other day, right? And I bought this tin thing that, like, because it came with popcorn. Well, it came with like a large popcorn separately, but I saw this and I thought to myself, I don't need this, but I'm getting this, right? And now I have it. So now this is in my apartment, just looking all kinds of creepy. But this movie though, the monkey movie, like that movie was something special, right? And I mean that in all the best ways, because it was probably the most entertaining movie that I've seen in a long time. And it was like fairly short, so that was kind of nice. Like you get in, watch the movie, get out real quick, the story just kind of like, they go right into it, right? As far as like the over the top craziness and all that of it. Like the dialogue was, I don't know if they just had a lot of ad-lib parts or whatever, because it didn't seem like things were quite written, but it was like really fun, It's like watching an episode of Home Movies or something, where it's just kind of people talking and you feel like it's just kind of like natural in some cases, right? But yeah, so it was a little weird, right? Because originally when I first saw the trailer, the very short version, I thought, okay, like this might be like kind of not like real, but like it might be like a serious sort of tone to it. Like certain other horror movies where there's some like haunted object and it's killing people or whatever. Like what was that movie Imaginary, but the little bear. Kind of a more serious tone to it. Thought it might be something like that. But then you see like a little bit more of the trailer, and it becomes very clear that this movie is totally made just for pure entertainment, and that's what they delivered on. So I was cool with it, very cool with it, and I will probably watch it again whenever that comes around in the streaming worlds and stuff, which probably won't be too far off because things seem to move into the streaming worlds a lot quicker nowadays, which I'm okay with. I mean, I got the AMC thing, so I'm there all the time at the actual theater. But it's nice being able to run it back later on if I want to and not have to go back to the theater. So there is that, right? But yeah, I would definitely suggest checking it out if it looked at all interesting to you. Go ahead, see it. It's a good time. It really is. Now, moving on past that though, today I saw Cleaner, right? Which from the one time I saw a trailer for it during whatever movie it was that I saw, it made it seem like it was going to be one of those like Jason Statham, Liam Neeson type movies where this girl is working somewhere, some bad people come around and like they don't realize it, but she's like, some merchant of death and she's going to make everybody pay for what they're doing. But no, she, there was not as much of that as I expected it to be. There was still a bit, right? She was still like, because there was some in the trailer, they just made it seem like there was going to be more of that. But no, it was a small portion of the movie. A lot of it was like a story that made no sense. It's like a bunch of eco-friendly people that are mad at some power company because they've been like lying about climate change or something. I don't know. It was just ridiculous. And so I'm watching it and I'm just like, this is just not great. I mean, it's mildly entertaining. It's not a terrible movie. It's just I went into it expecting to be entertained to a certain degree, and I was not. So I felt a little let down. I felt a little wronged. You know what I mean? So the cleaner, I don't think there's a the in it. If you see it on the wherever you see streaming or not streaming, like trailers and stuff, watch it, see what you think of it. But I I would say if you're going to see it, like do right, make your own opinion. Definitely make your own opinion. But I would highly suggest not watching it in a way where you have to spend money on it, right? So I'm not saying go out and steal it or whatever, because I know people do that. I'm just saying maybe like wait it out to be on whatever service you use or something like that. It'll probably be free on a lot of stuff, I would imagine. But yeah, I mean the acting, like the main girl, like she did well for herself. It was just the story of it. It was just not good. But whatever. So there's going to be that. That's all I really had to do today. Just wanted to sit down, talk about some new comics. Also, on the subject of comic books and whatnot, I have been reading the Ultimate Spider-Man recently. I've read all this other Ultimate stuff. There was Ultimate Invasion and Ultimate something else or whatever. There's a bunch of things leading up to it, to the whole Ultimate lines. So I read all that stuff a few days ago, and then I've been reading the Spider-Man thing. So far, that's been pretty interesting. It's an interesting little story. So basically, like Peter Parker, like his whole origin thing never happened. So Tony Stark went back in time, got the spider that was supposed to bite him, brought it to him in the future, and was like, "Hey, like you're supposed to be a better dude than just some dude." You know what I'm saying? So then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna use this spider and get these powers that you said I should have." So now he's Spider-Man, and this has now happened like way later in his life. So he's kind of like learning things, and other people from the normal Spider-Man universe are starting to show up. So it's actually been pretty interesting to see this story from another perspective. I'm just curious, like, where is this going? Because it's the kind of thing that I would normally think would be just be some sort of like little what if storyline that just lasts for like a few issues and then that's the end of it. Kind of like that Wolverine versus Predator or something. You think it just be its own little contained thing, but I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with that. I'm just reading it as Marvel Unlimited lets me read it. So there's that for you. But past that, in case anybody has anything on their mind that they want to throw my way, feel free to do that. Any questions or random comments or things you just feel like you want to tell me, I guess there's also that. Go ahead. You got a moment or two to knock that out because I'm about to start closing this thing up and moving on because, what is it? Impact comes on soon, like TNA, So I'm gonna watch that, whatever that show is called. I don't know, but it's been pretty interesting lately. I'm a wrestling fan. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. So, anyways, from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Put the monkey on your list of things to do because that's totally worth your time. I say that in all seriousness. But past that, I I should have some content coming up, like actual uploaded videos, but I need to get this on feet thing done for some Brooks shoes so that I can get that out. So hopefully I can do that tomorrow and then get the video out over the weekend. And also, like I said, got some cards to open up and also some cards to order so that I can, do that sort of thing too. But anyways, that's enough out of me. Thanks for showing up and listening to my ramblings and whatnot. They normally don't really go anywhere. It's just a thing to do to pass some time. Every now and then have a little bit of a conversation with somebody. And now that that has happened, thank you for that. But let's all go on about our day. Later, people.